Today, we're putting every NFL player back into prime form, except for one player, being the Madden 27 cover athlete Caleb Williams, who's going to be starting off at a 70 overall, the lowest he's ever been rated in the game. And while that seems like a major setback, it's not even going to compare to what he has to do in this video, trying to win a Super Bowl within 10 seasons, or else he's going to be framed as another victim of the Madden cover curse. And right now, with all the NFL teams being back into prime form, this looks like an impossible task for Caleb Williams to overcome. And right away, the Bears will be proving that point of this being potentially an impossible challenge, going 5-12 on the year with Caleb Williams not playing good whatsoever, and this Bears team looks to be very far behind already. So there's only one thing for Caleb Williams to do, and that's to get some serious training in the offseason, practicing every single day, which would get him up to 74 overall heading into season 2, which isn't much better from a 70, but is definitely a step in the right direction. And that step in the right direction would actually lead him to having a very solid season 2, going for 4,500 yards on the year and 35 touchdowns, which would really make it seem like this Bears team might be going somewhere here pretty quickly. Another reason for those high numbers would be because of free agency last season, picking up George Pickens in the offseason to hopefully be the future answer to this wide receiver position for the team. But ultimately, there's more to football than just quarterback play, and this Bears team would be going 6-11 on the year, missing the playoffs once again, showing that Caleb Williams may need to carry this team to win a Super Bowl somehow. And so with that newfound mindset of trying to carry this Bears team all the way to get a Lombardi, he's training even harder this offseason, getting himself to an 85 overall to start off the new year. And while in year 3 the results would be missing the postseason once again, come season 4 this team would finally start hitting on the gas a lot more. It would all start with Caleb Williams having his best season yet, leading the Bears to an 11-6 record, which would mean we're finally seeing them in the postseason for the first time. So very clearly this is a very big step in the right direction if he wants to try to win a Super Bowl within 10 seasons, but little does he know that the playoffs is a whole entire different version of football that he has yet to overcome. And in his first playoff game in this video, he's going to be hosting the Minnesota Vikings with Justin Jefferson and Kyler Murray at quarterback, a very interesting team with a very nice defense to go along with it. And for the two QBs on each side, this is probably going to be the most even matchup we're going to be seeing, with both of them not necessarily being proven players at their position, but ultimately are still very good and will definitely be causing problems for both sides. So this is obviously going to be a very high-stake game for Caleb Williams, and with the nerves at an all-time high for him, he would actually be taking this game very smoothly against the Vikings and would be taking them down with ease to move into the divisional round to find a new opponent to face off against. But clearly this Vikings team didn't take advantage of all the prime players in the NFL, but his next opponent, being the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, would be doing exactly that, as they now have TJ Watt and Vita Vea on the defense, which could be causing very big havoc on the Bears offense. And for a player like Caleb Williams, who doesn't have a ton of playoff experience, a team like this is not going to be very easy for him to take down. And compared to last game, this won't be going as smoothly whatsoever, as the Buccaneers and the Bears are actually going to be keeping it close this whole entire game, with Caleb Williams definitely still playing very well, which is a very good sign, but this Buccaneers team is definitely not slowing down either. And so with it being a close game, both of these offenses would be showing how good they really are, with there being a combined score of over 60 points as we entered into the fourth quarter already. And as we started getting our way to the end of regulation, both of these teams would be tied up at 37 apiece, which was very clear that we were going to be going into overtime to decide the winner of this one. And so already in the divisional round, Caleb Williams has to prove that he's the QB for this Bears franchise to take them all the way and take down the Buccaneers in overtime to move into the NFC Championship game. Here we go for the Bears in the middle of overtime here. Caleb Williams on his first drive, already across the 50, hands it off to Swift. He's going to get a spin move, gets down at the 39 there, creating 2nd and 6 for the team. I gotta say, the team Caleb Williams actually has around him right now is very solid. T. Higgins, George Pickens, like, you cannot ask for a better receiver core just off those two guys right there. Caleb Williams looking to throw it now. A jump pass out to his receiver. Oh my, I don't even know how he got that completed. He's got it. I don't know why he did all that, but good for him. I'm not going to try to glaze Caleb Williams this game, but if it's a video based around him, I'm going to do what I want to. T. Higgins gets lit up there, almost grabbing the first down there. That's going to be 2nd and inches for the team. Caleb Williams only a few yards away from scoring a touchdown here. Tosses it down to T. Higgins, once again getting a few yards there, getting a first down and 1st and goal officially. Buccaneers looking to try and maybe send a blitz here, and they're going to do just that. Caleb Williams just did not process that whatsoever. Gets blown up right away. 2nd and goal officially. Hopefully he can make up from that bad play. Just clearly did not see the blitz coming whatsoever. Vita Vea, I guess it is a screen pass, goes down to Swift. Gets nothing there, literally. 3rd and goal officially at the 15. Not a great 3rd and goal situation for them either. If they can score a touchdown here, that'd be very huge, especially off the sack that they had to take on 1st down. Caleb Williams throws a dart in the end zone. Touchdown Pickens in the end zone. Bears take the first lead in overtime. Buccaneers get one shot at trying to tie this game up. But if they don't, the Bears are moving on to the NFC Championship game in their first playoff run with Caleb Williams in this video. Bears defense looking to try to get the stop here for Caleb Williams and company. Chip Ramsey checks it down to Cade Otton. Grabs 6 yards there, and it's 2nd and 4 officially. Here we go, another pass for Chip Ramsey. Has lots of time in the pocket. Gonna be a forced incompletion by Jalen Johnson there. 3rd and 4 already for the Buccaneers. Bears defense has actually not been terrible this game. I know the score doesn't say that, but when they've needed to play good, they've definitely done just that. And another forced incompletion there, this time by Kyle Gordon, and it's 4th and 4 officially for the Buccaneers. This is it, all to decide. Could Caleb Williams be booking a ticket to the NFC Championship game off this play right here? Ramsey has lots of time in the pocket. He's going to try to scramble. Gets stopped before the 1st down line by Montez Sweat. He prevents Chip Ramsey from making this game go on any longer. Caleb Williams and company are heading to the NFC Championship game. And so Caleb Williams would be proving the doubters wrong in overtime, taking down this very strong Buccaneers team, and all of a sudden he's just one game away from going into the Super Bowl for the first time in his young NFL career. And as we look deep into the NFC Championship game, something I mentioned earlier was how some of these NFL teams are looking very good with everybody being back into prime form, and one of those teams would be the Seattle Seahawks, hosting the Chicago Bears in the NFC Championship game, and Caleb Williams now has to face his toughest opponent yet. And while DeMarcus Lawrence is highlighting this defense being back into prime form, it would be on the offensive side where the real firepower would be, with 2 former Offensive Player of the Year award winners being JSN and Cooper Kupp, who are now lining up next to each other, causing havoc in the NFL. So Caleb Williams has a lot to deal with on his plate in this game. Seattle's not going to be a very easy team to take down, and with it being in the NFC Championship game, it's going to make it even harder for him. And it was safe to say that overall in this game, it would very much prove why this new NFL is not going to be an easy task for Caleb Williams to handle, as the Seattle Seahawks would be dominating this Bears team, sending Caleb Williams home just 1 game short of the Super Bowl. And while this may seem upsetting in the moment, this is a very big step in the right direction for Caleb Williams. He's trying to win a Super Bowl within 10 seasons, and with this only being season 4, he's on progress to easily do it. But one thing's certain about the NFL, you can be very successful and make it all the way to the NFC Championship game one year, and then go into next season and absolutely fall apart, which is exactly what would be happening for Caleb Williams. He's falling down from making it to the NFC Championship game to going 5-12 on the season, completely out of the postseason and looking like one of the worst teams in the NFL, and he's now being framed for it. And not only is this now a wasted season for him, we're immediately back at square one with this team and himself, now really looking like there may not be as much hope as winning a Super Bowl within 10 seasons. And right now it's even more of an issue that we're 5 seasons into this and he's only made it to the NFC Championship game once. Very good progress, but after a season like this, it's starting to look like there's not as much hope for him winning a Super Bowl in that timeline. So Caleb Williams knew he had to step on the gas very hard in season 6 to make some very good progress, and he would be doing just that, leading the team to an 11-6 record and for himself having one of his best years yet. So obviously he's making a postseason run with a record like that, starting off in the wildcard round, going up against this Eagles team, which honestly we won't need to talk about too much, as Caleb Williams would be letting his game do the talking, taking down this Eagles team 39-19 in a very easy sweep. And the divisional round would also tell a very similar story, facing off against a Saints team that he would also be easily taking down 34-20, and all of a sudden he's back in the NFC Championship game 2 years later. And now he's taking on the Giants, who have a very good team surrounded by them with some very young talent that is already playing at an all-pro level. We could talk about how Arvell Reese has blossomed into one of the league's best defensive players, and Jackson Dart and Malik Neighbors being one of the most iconic QB wide receiver receiver duos in the NFL at this very moment. But for Caleb Williams, he does still have George Pickens going for him and a very good team surrounding him that obviously was a very big part in him getting into the NFC Championship game right now. So it's very clear that both teams could be definitely keeping it close this whole game. And that's exactly what would be happening this time around. Caleb Williams wouldn't be getting absolutely dominated in the NFC Championship game like last time, and definitely learned a few lessons from that game that would ultimately help him in this one out in a very big way. And with both teams scoring over 30 points of their own, you can tell this was very much an offensive played game and would not really be coming down to the defense coming up with a stop for one of these sides. And for a second time in the NFC Championship game, Caleb Williams would actually be falling short in this one, and the Giants would be taking down and shattering this team's hopes of a Super Bowl run. So Caleb Williams and company are not going to the Super Bowl again this year, falling short in the NFC Championship 2 times now in their 2 playoff runs in this video. Definitely some interesting question marks if he'll be able to win a Super Bowl in this challenge. And with very few seasons remaining in this challenge, Caleb Williams doesn't have a lot more room for error, so season 7 is going to be a very important year for him. And very clearly, Caleb Williams would be understanding the message, leading this Bears team to a 13-4 record, locking up the 1 seed in the NFC to make for a smooth postseason. And not to mention, this is definitely the best year he's had on the Bears so far, so very clearly this looks like a season that we need to be paying a lot of attention to right now. And so with this postseason having a lot at stake for him, he would be able to get through the divisional round very easily, but in the NFC Championship game comes redemption time for him, taking on the Giants back-to-back years, and now is looking to potentially take a win over them to get into the Super Bowl for the first time. And while the stakes were at a very high point last time, the stakes could not be any higher for Caleb Williams at this point, having his best season to date and all of a sudden being 1 game away from the Super Bowl once again. He needs to capitalize on this opportunity or else things are going to be looking very dark for him. And the first half of this game could not have been a worse start for this team. Going down 22-7 going into halftime, Caleb Williams looks to have already lost this game before we're heading into the second half of it. But in real life, Caleb Williams is very much clearly known for making these pressured comebacks in the 4th quarter and even the 3rd quarter, so it's obviously not a done game quite yet. And for Giants fans, this is not going to be a very memorable moment. The Bears will be dropping 30 points in the second half alone, while the Giants only dropped another 15. So Caleb Williams is now advancing to the Super Bowl off a 37-30 comeback against the Giants. And now heading into the Super Bowl, he would be meeting up against Fernando Mendoza and the Raiders, a very interesting team to be paying attention to right now, with Ashton Genty and Brock Bowers at their peak performance, and Mendoza is obviously panning out for himself as well. And so while it is a very big game for Caleb Williams, it's also going to be going the same way for Mendoza, who's also looking for his first Super Bowl ring. So for both QBs, it's going to be a very legendary show-off between the 2 of them. And throughout all 4 quarters of this game, it would be a very tight one the whole entire time, with both offenses clearly showing that they can put up points against each other, and with the defenses not having much of an answer for either of them, it would definitely be very interesting to see how this one ends. Because on one hand, Caleb Williams definitely does have a very good looking offense for himself, but with Mendoza having guys like Ashton Genty and Brock Bowers in their prime forms at the moment, he definitely has a lot of firepower on his side as well. And with a player like Max Crosby leading the defense for the Raiders, it just might be enough to push them over the edge of the Bears. But Caleb Williams has definitely dominated throughout some of this video in this new NFL, which clearly shows that this team is definitely more strong than we think they are. And so now that ultimately sets up the biggest situation in the 4th quarter. With 2:26 left on the clock, the Raiders would have the ball, being down 2 points, and with Mendoza having the ball in his hands, you never know what could happen. Here comes Mendoza, 3rd and 17 here, no timeouts for them. They're only down 2 points here against this Bears team. Caleb Williams did his job. Now the defense needs to show up. Mendoza taking a deep shot downfield, cannot speak. That is going to be incomplete. 4th and 17 now, just before the 2-minute warning. And of course, they have to go for it. No timeouts here for them. There's no way they convert this. If they convert it, I want everybody on the Bears defense fired. His approach was to scramble for 17 yards. Okay. So fire Mendoza right now too. If this is anything how he's going to play in real life, I don't want to watch the Raiders play football this year. Well, let's see if Caleb Williams can ice this game. Hands it off to Swift. He's going to grab a good chunk of yards there, making that 7 yards. Now 2nd and 3 for the team. Bears looking to grab a first down here and wrap this game up. Swift on the outside, gets stuffed there. Now it's 3rd and 4. 3rd and 4 now. This Raiders defense has to get a stop here or else it's pretty much done. And they do stop Swift in the backfield. There is a chance. The Bears will obviously make this field goal here. and it will be a 5-point game from there. Let's see if that offensive drive is going to ultimately kill this Bears team and winning a Super Bowl here. Mendoza with 30 seconds officially. Biggest legacy drive for him. Throws it out to his receiver, grabs the first down there. Obviously, clock's going to keep ticking. They're probably going to set up for a spike here. They're going to get this thing down with 20 seconds left on the clock. Obviously, looking for sideline throws here for the Raiders. Not sure how the Bears defense is going to necessarily approach this, but obviously getting pressure on Mendoza would be very huge here. Mendoza is going to get pressured, and somehow there's a flag on the play. Bowers catches it, gets out of bounds too to stop the clock. Is going to be roughing the passer. Okay. This Bears defense is not serious right now. And there's 15 seconds left. They might be cooked. This is so bad. Mendoza, will he have an answer on offense? Takes a deep shot to the right side, almost throws an interception to end it there. That would have been huge if that would have happened. Now 2nd and 10. More importantly, 10 seconds left on the clock. How will Mendoza approach this? Takes the deep shot to the end zone. Will his man have it? Gonna be incomplete there. Still 3 seconds left on the clock. One final play for this Raiders offense. If Caleb Williams gets gamed in the Super Bowl, I'm gonna feel like the worst person in the world. Mendoza chucks it up. Who's there? It's gonna be incomplete. The Bears win the Super Bowl. Caleb Williams wins it all. And so from starting from a 70 overall to now winning the Super Bowl, he has officially proven that the Madden cover curse may not be as real as we all think it is. But what would happen if you took a former Madden cover athlete, someone like Josh Allen, and put him in the same situation Caleb Williams had to be in? What would the results be with that? Click the video on the screen to find out.